Hey, so where are you from? What's your name? And kind of talk to me a little bit about your current situation, about where you were at before you joined the program.
Okay, my name is Catalina Gonzalez. I live in LA area in California. I'm originally from Colombia, so I'm very, very proud Latina. um, Before getting into the program, I was going through um, kind of like process and yes, processing a little bit of the perimenopause symptoms.
Mm,
I was dealing with a lot of changes in my body and my health for the last year and a half that I couldn't understand. And then somebody one time just told me, it's like, maybe it's a perimenopause. And that clicked just right there. But also, just knowing doesn't take away all of the changes and symptoms that I was having. And I can say that I had all the perimenopause
all of them.
symptoms,
Explain
all of
some of
them.
them that you were having.
It was not in the middle. It was not my. I'm still like
Yeah.
trying to figure it out. But one of them is that I one day I woke up and I was 20 pounds heavier.
Mm,
But it was just like that. It
yeah.
wasn't a period. No, one day my clothes fit. The next day they didn't fit.
Okay.
The mood swings, the hot flashes, low energy. Um, I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
And
All these symptoms going on. And like,
yes,
and
anxiety, depression, kind of like feeling like lost and without hope, like a
wow.
bunch of other symptoms that I never had before. Um, I've never had depression. I'm not a negative person, but suddenly I was not even like a sample of the person that I was before.
Wow. And how long were you feeling these symptoms and like carrying that weight for?
I'm gonna say that for about a year
About a year.
because
Okay.
everything started with a lot of bloating,
Mhm.
stomach issues, like food that I had before constantly is starting to just my stomach not assimilating it the same
Mm,
way, constipation, like a bunch of issues in different I'm gonna say disease with
yeah.
my all my digestion. That started with that, which was I was like going to doctors.
Hmm.
I went to like several doctors, not only here in my home country. I tried to find answers everywhere. And it was like, no, you need to eat more fiber. You need to
Mm,
do this and do that. But then it was the anxiety.
yeah.
Then it was like crying out of nowhere.
Okay.
Then it was like some other things, the weight. It was like everything at once.
Mm,
So I remember it that also my mom, when she got into her menopause time or era,
hmm.
she developed panic attacks.
I remember
So I
that. Yeah.
remember that, and I was like, I think that I need to take care of my mental health. And that's when I also started to find all those answers, like what can I do for myself. I started all the hormone treatment.
Yeah.
I
Talk
started
about
to
that.
trying to find like answers for all my hormones, and on the other side was like the weight gain. So that's
Yeah.
when
The weight
I
brought on.
yeah, then I was like, I need to do something. I need to stop this because I'm only 45 years old,
Hmm.
so I wasn't overweight before.
Yeah.
And I want to look good and I want to feel
Of
good. I
course.
don't want like overnight not being the person that I was before.
Of course. And when
And
you're
I'm not even
competitive,
talking about like being a fitness model. I
yeah,
just want to be at the point that I feel comfortable with myself.
of course. I agree. And that's like that's the most important thing to get back to where you were before, just feeling like yourself again each day. And like when you had these things going on for a year or so, like what did you feel like you were unable to do that you wished you could do each day, or like what sort of feelings were you wishing you were having?
Well, I think that the mainly thing is that now I know, now that I've been reading a lot, that I've been informing myself a lot,
Yeah.
I think that the main thing is that as women, and we get a lot of information about pregnancies or avoiding pregnancies, and when women are pregnant, like all the delivery or cancer, all of those subjects are very well known.
Yeah.
But how to expect when you get to a point that your hormones are not there anymore, there
There's
is
nothing
no
out there.
information. Our moms weren't talking about that.
Hmm.
Our friends didn't talk about that. It's not that you go out with your friends and you start talking about hot flashes.
Yeah.
uh, is not, and not even the doctors. Like, how many doctors I think that I've seen already for OBGYNs,
Yeah.
that some of them just discarded me, like, yeah, I mean,
It's
we can't do
normal.
anything for you.
Yeah.
Just
Just the
deal
way
with
it
it.
is. Yeah.
Just deal with it, right? So it's kind of like this secrecy that nobody talks about it, and everybody's afraid to talk about it. Yeah, I even encounter women that they see me with my fan, and it's like, oh, I mean, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm having a hot flash. I mean, I'm in perimenopause or menopause, I don't even know.
Yeah.
And what it pissed me off the most is they all of them said, like, that's so weird, I didn't have any symptom.
So you felt like the odd
And
one
I'm
out.
like, how come, if 100% of women
Yeah.
have to go through this stage in life, how come we're still telling the other people or the other women, we're not supporting them, and we're telling them,
It's
it's
normal.
you
Yeah,
are
it's
the
just you.
problem, I'm not, I'm perfect.
100%. And like
And
I know that for you, you went through, like you said, like different doctors, different things like
yeah,
that. You tried a lot of different things. Like, how did you kind of come across like Gonzalez coaching? How did you come across me?
I honestly, I was on Instagram. I
Yeah.
bet that the algorithm already had me in perimenopause and
Yeah.
hormones, because I was trying to find a lot of things online too. Um, and I saw that you have like a ad,
Yeah.
or you have like your description. It was like, are you struggling with your hormones? Are you struggling with perimenopause? And I was like, yes, I am.
Yeah.
And that's how we got in contact, because I saw that you have kind of solution for hormones, and you were referring like women with
Hmm.
hormones. And I think that the first time that uh, we did these
Yeah.
calls, I asked you, like, what are you doing working with a bunch of old ladies if you're so
Yeah.
young? And that's what it basically attracted me to your program.
Yeah. And like after going through kind of the process, going through some of the things that we talked about in kind of the 12 weeks that we had with you, like what were your thoughts on going through that, on your experience?
Well, it was it was good for a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. First reason, it gave me kind of like hope that I didn't have before. It gave me something to go for.
Sure.
Like, okay, I'm going to get myself together. I'm going to have this type of food, or this program, which
Yeah.
was really good though. I'm going to start working out, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to actually do it, because if it's not now, I need kind of like save myself from all of this.
Yeah.
So that gave me like something to go for.
Okay. And when you say like save yourself from all of this, explain what that means for you.
Well, that means that I was just like, just in the couch, tired,
Mm,
um, depressed, sometimes crying, sometimes laughing. It was like a all of that roller coaster of emotions, plus my stomach, plus my head hurt. So
mhm.
it's like a circle that you're feeling sorry for yourself, but you don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
So kind of like when I started the program, I was like, okay, I have a plan.
Hmm.
And I also think that I told you that the first time. It's like I'm a follower. So give me
Yeah.
a plan and I will follow it. But before, nobody told me anything. Nobody recommended anything. It's just like you have to go through and that's it. So it was also kind of like a guidance that
Yeah.
something can be done, and at least I can expect changes from
Definitely.
from taking different actions.
Yeah, 100%. And getting through kind of the program and understanding like, okay, this is the way that I should, eat for kind of my hormones. This is the kind of supplements that I need to start taking. And like
Hmm.
when you went through that process, like maybe even before you joined the program itself, like what were maybe some of the doubts or fears that you had about getting more guidance, would you say?
Uh, well, I always thought that it was kind of like ridiculous when people talk about I heal my relationship with the food. I
Hmm.
was like, does I always felt that that was like BS, honestly. I was like, I don't even know what that means. It's just like something that people say on Instagram.
Yeah.
But then I started to have like more carbs. For
Hmm.
example, they always tell you don't need carbs. Carbs are bad for you, right? And I was and start to eat like rice, potatoes, and I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm going to try. I'm gonna give
Yeah.
it I'm gonna give it a shot. And I started losing weight, even eating those things that I thought that they were like very damaging for you, for your health, for your body, for everything. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not afraid anymore of food. I'm not
That's great.
afraid of fruits. I used to love fruits. And I don't know, one time, I don't know who said the fruit had a lot of sugar. You can
Hmm.
only eat blueberries. So you don't need fruits anymore. You don't need an apple or a banana because that's so bad for you. But then I started to having them and a
Yeah.
lot of them, and it didn't impact my weight at all. It didn't impact anything, but I
Cool.
was enjoying my food, and that also made me stick in the program because I wasn't craving something
Definitely.
outside the program. It's not that I see somebody eating an apple and I'm like basically like I want to eat something, and you go and you eat 5 apples in one sitting. So that also helped me to stick in it because I knew that I can have a lot of food during like those 3 meals.
Yeah.
That was basically it, and also got me again into working out because I wasn't working out because I was
Definitely.
tired, because I wasn't feeling it, because not even my workout clothes fitted or stuff like that. So it got me
Yeah.
also into working out again.
And that's a big thing too, is that the relationship you had with food before was just like, oh, no carbs, none of the foods I actually enjoy. Like every time we went on vacation, it's like, oh, I can't have those things.
Yeah.
We have the trips coming up, right? It's like we got to be able to live the lifestyle. We can't just eat keto forever. I think that's one of the
Yeah.
things you mentioned in the beginning was like your partner went on keto, he's just eating steak all the time. You're like, I'm sick of this. I can't do it. So like even with
The
hearing,
fasting, the
yeah,
fasting.
fasting.
No, no. Can you imagine you're hot, you're cold, you're sweaty, or you're depressed and your hormones are up and down, and then you're starving?
Let's
That's
just
not a
add a
way of
worse thing on
living.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so for you then, like with knowing everything, like you were like, I don't know, like there's so many people out there that say it doesn't work this way. I don't know if I can eat more. I don't know if I can eat carbs. Like what made you say yes anyways and like do the program, even with some of those doubts and fears that you had?
No, I just put like my faith in trust that you know what you're talking about. And I
Yeah.
was like, if I don't give it a chance, how am I gonna know?
Mm-hmm.
If I don't do
Definitely.
it, how am I gonna know? So I was like, I have to give it a chance. And to be honest, I mean, you spend money on the program, so you don't want
Yeah.
to waste that. So I'm like, okay, so all of these are good reasons to stick to it, and we'll see what happens. And what happened is that I give myself the time,
Hmm.
and 1 week I lose weight, second week lose weight. So I was like, okay, so we're in a good path.
Yeah.
So basically it was that. It was like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
And
You're gonna go all in.
trusting that you knew what you were doing.
Yeah. And like as a result of taking that leap of faith, taking that action and putting yourself first, like where are you at like today compared to where you were like 12 weeks ago?
Oh no, I mean, I lost already, I think, 10 pounds.
Yeah.
So that's good. And not even that, is just my clothes started to fit, which
Mm.
is really good, because I was not going to buy another like one more size. I was like, no, I can't. I need to fit on this one. So I'm using the clothes that I have on my wardrobe, which is amazing. First,
Yeah.
second, my stomach is being like very very regulated. I don't have like heartburn or constipation or gases or anything like that. It has been like really really regulated.
Great.
I don't have cravings.
Mm.
I even see people eating, I don't know, cookies or ice cream or something like that, and I don't feel like that. That, oh my god, I want that.
Yeah.
No, it makes me like choose and saying like, no, I'm not gonna have it. I'm not gonna say that I don't have ice cream or something like that during the weekend,
Hmm.
or if I go out and have like a little
Yeah.
bit of dessert, which is also good.
Yes. Very good.
Because also it's like you have to stick to a diet, and if you have like one more glass of water, it doesn't work,
Won't
or
work.
you gain the weight again. And once you kind of like relax yourself and let yourself go, you gain even more weight
Hmm.
than the beginning. I think that they
Yeah.
call it like yo-yo diet.
Yeah, exactly. That's what a lot of people do. They stick to
So the
that
good thing,
restrictive food.
yeah, the good thing with this program is that I think that because you can eat like all the groups of food.
Yeah.
If you have like an ice cream or pasta over a date night, is it doesn't hurt you.
Yeah. It's like one drop in a bucket and you're
Yeah.
completely fine. And we're right back on track the next week. And like after kind of, I know for you this weight was like stubborn, right? Like we were trying everything. We were going to the doctor, we were doing all the different things and it wasn't coming off. So now that we've kind of lost this weight, like and you're fitting better into the clothes, like how are you starting to feel?
No, I'm starting to feel much better. At least, again, I have a purpose, which is I'm going home, I'm going to check my steps. If I don't have all the steps, I go out for a walk, or just come home. I have all the equipment in my gym here, my home gym here,
Yeah.
and I do my workouts. I have my food ready, but it gives me like that time is being filled with doing things for me.
Mm. So
So I
yeah.
go for a walk. Sometimes my husband goes with me. Now that the weather has been changing, is like a really nice weather. We go for longer walks, stuff like that we didn't do before, and also taking the workouts, cooking a little bit more, saving money and groceries.
Definitely. That's one of the
and
big things that we find is like
and
we just
take
make like
out or eating out. So all of those things have been really good to, because I was that person before.
yeah.
So it got me like, okay, I'm kind of like feeling myself again. I'm starting to feel better. I'm starting to feel that it's like a light
There's a
at the
light
end of
back
the
in there.
tunnel.
Yeah. And like with kind of that light coming back, like starting to feel a lot better, having a lot more energy and just like being able to do a lot more, like what are some of the things that you find yourself wanting to do or see yourself doing now that you've kind of accomplished this?
um, well, besides of the weight, or besides
Mhm.
of how I see myself, my mental health is much better.
Yeah.
Being like more focused at work, more calm, more like things get like assimilated differently. I don't know. I just think that the perimenopause is that it gets you that you respond to everything. It's like a responsive mode.
Yeah.
So now I can feel like, okay, this is just the perimenopause. You can calm down a little bit. Nothing is happening. Everything is good. And just like support myself in the exercise, in the like eating well. The supplements helps, or I think that it helps
Yeah, of
a
course.
lot. I take all my supplements. I honestly, I think that I'm very focused in what is the future, and I in one of the books that I was reading about
Mhm.
menopause, one of the doctors says that one thing that is non-negotiable when you hit your hormones decline is that you
Mhm.
need to make life changes.
Yeah,
And that is
definitely.
not negotiable. If we're going to have to change, even if it's supplements, even if it's your diet, even if it's
Yeah.
walking more, even if it's like a better face cream, but something,
Mhm.
those life changes need to happen because your body is not the same. It is not
Yeah.
going to be the same.
100%. And I think for you specifically, some of those different like supplemental changes that we made was like we were, using a form of birth control, which was overall
Mhm.
giving us insufficient hormones. Like they're not bioidentical, they're actually, they're overall kind of
Mhm.
man-made. So they're not producing the same type of hormones. That was causing a lot of the symptoms you're
Yeah.
experiencing. And so when we kind of changed that out, we kind of got on some supplements for specifically estrogen dominance, helping a little bit more with the cortisol. A lot of those things started to shift. And it's going to take a little bit of time for that to work. But like those things, I believe, as you said, like have gotten better over the last couple
No, and
months.
I'm sleeping better because that's the other
Right?
thing. Perimenopause or menopause takes you sleep away. You don't sleep at
Yeah.
all. And I'm sleeping better. My skin is better. I don't know. Even even things that like the most weird symptoms, they kind of been like fading away a little bit.
Awesome.
The only one that still persists is the hot flashes and
Hmm.
the brain fog.
Yeah.
Those two are the hardest ones.
Yes.
But I mean, I find a new doctor with a new HRT
Yeah.
that you want to try, but it's still with my supplements, with my
Yep.
diet, and my exercise.
Yeah. And that's the big thing, right? Is that like now we're shifting from, I love HRT for women going through menopause and perimenopause. It's an amazing thing to do
Mhm.
because we start to bring those hormone levels up to where
Yeah,
they're supposed to be at
yeah.
versus like supplementation will get us as close as we can to that natural baseline. But once we add HRT, it can really speed up the process, especially if we add the right ratio of estrogen and progesterone, making sure those
Mhm.
things are balanced. We just don't get back in the same category of estrogen dominance. But
Yes.
that's amazing, right? Getting that on track is going to be the best thing for you. Is like take a bit of time to reverse some of the post birth control syndrome and symptoms that we're experiencing, but that will 100% get us on the right track. Now, for you, like after kind of going through the program, like having your own experience, what would you tell someone who is watching this right now and is overall like unsure about taking that next step?
Well, first of all, is that if you don't take that step, you're not gonna get different results.
Mm,
So I mean, you're expecting to get something out of not putting the effort or doing something different
yeah.
to get those results. So if what you've been doing this whole time is not working, try something different that might work. That's one thing. The other thing is that it gets to a point that you have to put yourself first,
Mm,
even if it's spending a little bit of money and spending a little bit of time, or I don't know, cooking more, like things that maybe we don't want to do.
yeah.
But I think that when you put all of that, that you're helping yourself and that you're putting yourself first is the most important thing, because we tend to worry about our families, our husbands, our parents, kids, whatever it is, but we're last.
Hmm.
And it gets to a point, like I got to that point, that is
Yeah.
like, it have to be me. because I can even take care of my family if I don't take care of myself, because I was like drowning in symptoms and mental health.
Yeah,
So put yourself first, find that connection, and just put the work that it needs to be, that it needs to be part of it.
that's amazing. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize until longer. And it's amazing that you have that mindset belief now that, like, you know, you have put yourself last for years. And like, this is where you are today. And as a
Yes.
result of putting yourself first, taking that step, working with us, you've gotten to the position where it's like, hey, I'm good now. Like I'm working on these things actively. I know what to do going forward, and I'm on the right path to be even more successful. Right? You
No,
took that step.
and also that can make changes in your family too, or in your
Yeah.
environment. Before, we were eating whatever my family wanted, which is, I don't know, a huge steak with a bunch of butter and I don't know what else, because that's what my husband wanted.
Yeah.
But now it's like, no, we're gonna eat chicken, potatoes, chicken and rice, and I'm gonna make it my way, and we all are gonna eat the same. And it's really
Awesome.
good. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it's not a bland food. We're having more food than before, and more like different food, and the whole different groups. So now it's like, I'm the leader of this. If you want to follow me. Otherwise, that's the kitchen is right there. You can go
Yeah.
grocery shopping, or you can do it for yourself. Not doing it. And I also think that um, tell your surroundings that you need like extra support, that you are at the point that you need that to succeed. And
Yeah.
I think that they follow along.
Yeah. And that's a really good point too, is that like you got to the point where it's like, all right, I need to put myself first and my family, hey, hate it or not, you got to be on board. Like
Yeah.
you got to do it, right? Because if your family's not on board, then it's very hard to be successful long term. But if you
Hmm.
can understand like, hey, guys, this is really important for me. Like I need to put myself first. I want you guys to be there with me. Like, you guys could eat different things, but it'd be awesome if we can do a family and do it together. That helps the process so much. That's what all of my most successful clients say, is that their partners are super supportive of
Yeah.
them putting
No, and
themselves
also, I mean, if you're in my position with my symptoms, any husband will want to support
first.
whatever your wife is going to do to feel better, not being moody all the time, not being screaming at everybody, not being like crying and laughing and hot and cold. Like any
Yeah,
husband will be like, yes, what we have to do, please, please, let's do it. And
yeah,
I think that was his point too. He was like, whatever you need to do to feel better, because he also saw me struggling so much for the last year, that he
yeah,
was like, whatever you want to do, I support it. Sometimes he work out with me, sometimes he go for walks, but he eats whatever I prepare. He doesn't complain about it. so so yes, having that support. My only issue
yeah.
is at work,
Mm-hmm.
because
Definitely.
I work with a lot of people with bad, really
Bad
bad
habits.
healthy habits. And my manager, her love language is food.
I know. Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah.
And she cooks the most delicious food. Don't get me wrong, it's delicious. But then I have to start like, at the beginning, I didn't want to hurt her feelings. So I
Yeah.
kind of like take the plate and I was like, thank you, and put it in the trash.
Right.
When she
Yeah.
wasn't seeing, like she wasn't watching me, I put it in the trash. Now that she's seen me like different, she's like, hey, you've been losing weight. And I was like, yes, because I'm being really, really consistent, and I'm not having sweets, I'm not having this and this and that. She kind of understand.
That's
So
amazing.
now, instead of like give me the plate, it's like, look, I made your favorite or something like
Hmm.
that. She's just like, hey, can you eat this, or can I make you some chicken and rice?
Yeah.
So she's kind of like now like on board of what I'm doing, because she sees that it is better for me. But at the beginning, I was like just
I
hiding the
remember.
food and throwing it away. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feeling. Don't get me wrong, I want to eat it like
Yeah, of
more
course.
than one time. But now everybody at the office is kind of like, okay, she's in a health journey, so let's not push the food on her, because it's
Yeah.
horrible when people is like, come on, you don't need it. You
Hmm.
don't, are you in a diet? You don't need that. And it's like, I do
It's
need
not for
it.
you, it's for me.
And and don't make me feel bad for decisions that I'm making for myself.
Hmm.
So it's also boundaries with
Yeah.
people close to you is very difficult. I'm not gonna say that it's easy, but it gets to a point that if you are showing them that those boundaries are there, they kind of like follow and they understand at the end.
Yeah. And they'll get it eventually. And if they don't get it, then it's even harder, right? But it's still about taking that step and be like, all right, well, they're gonna keep pushing it. I keep gotta say no. I gotta keep saying no. And I gotta keep
Yeah.
putting myself first every single day.
Mhm.
So overall, this was an amazing experience. Thank you for sharing your story with everyone. I'm glad that you were able to express some of the different things that I'm sure a lot of the women that I work with have similar stories and they have
Oh my
similar
God, I
things they're
hope
going
so.
through.
I'm never gonna say anyone, oh my God, poor you. I didn't have any symptom, because I did have them all. Any woman who asked me about this, I think that I'm doing a master's degree on this.
Yeah, of
And I think that as women, we need to support ourselves and we need to
course.
share information and speak with the truth about a lot of horrible things, which is aging.
Yeah,
So
going through the
it's not,
different changes.
yeah, it's not easy, but yeah, I mean, overall it was a great experience. I told you before, it changed my life. It got to a point where no hope to having hope, the having kind of like a method or having
Yeah,
like something to follow along, and having that hope that there is something out there that it could give me some relief of my mental health, my body, exercise, like everything that you that you guide and you provide. So
thank you
yeah,
for that.
I do appreciate feedback. I appreciate your advices, and I do appreciate all the program that you have put together.
Of course. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.